Just in the nick of time, Jane. Just in the nick of time. Bit of fussy cutting to start my day off. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
How are you?
This is a treat having you with me today.
I don't think I've ever been called a treat, but thanks. I'll take that. Absolutely. Tomorrow's show.
The fabric's gorgeous.
I was going to do something else. And you know what happens?
New fabric comes in and you get distracted.
Arrive. I did get distracted. I've now fussy cut something rather pretty. And we're going to do something a bit gorgeous tomorrow, which I knew I wanted to do when the fabrics arrived. We've got a few, should we say, delivery bits of fun.
Oh gosh, it's all the fun, isn't it?
We were just saying, when we started Natasha Makes, at no point did we think that all the peas in all the world would happen.
Yeah.
Pandemic.
Yeah.
Pirates
Yes.
is the latest one, stopping our fabric getting through. So we've had to rejig all our shows a little bit, haven't we?
Yes. It's all been fun, yeah.
Yeah. But there we go. Should we see who is with us this morning?
That would be nice.
This morning we are making the Fan Stripe Quilt. Disappointed it wasn't called the Snake Stripe Quilt. I
could have changed the name.
I was gunning for it, but no one would. No one would, which is probably just as well. However, you wait till... I've noticed this. I have no say in lots of things anymore. In the name for tomorrow's bag.
Yes.
Yeah, you can
Gemma's
absolutely guess.
Had her carry-on sewing fingers on that one.
I know. She's changed the name of it.
She loves a little innuendo, doesn't she, our Gem?
Loves it. She lives for a bit of innuendo. I don't know if I've managed... Oh, it all seems to be... Are we there? What's going on,
Are we
Jane?
talking to ourselves?
I don't know. Here we go. Gabriel's here. Good morning. Judy's here.
Morning.
And all that. Yeah, people are finding us and joining. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
And don't get confused. It's not Wednesday. It is Tuesday.
We sort of mix it around, don't we?
Yes, of course we do.
And the honest answer about that, if anybody was questioning it, is it's due to my workload.
Yes.
As to what's
and also
happening for me.
What's coming in and what's not, isn't it, at the moment? We're just having to work round.
We're like flexible yogics. Are we?
Well, I don't know about me. You are. I don't know about me.
I'd love to be. Oh, now, for those of you who are subscribers, members, whatever you want to call it, I made these yesterday, and I think they're all the fun. Let me see if I can just swizzle that across. Look at these, Jane.
They're such good fun.
They take less than a metre a zip.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What a cute gift.
And so you just unzip it as much as you want, pop money or whatever else you want in there.
Yeah.
If you have a teenager or anything like that, both my kids came in and went, "Oh, that's so cool." Oh, thanks. Yeah.
Thanks.
That's me.
They'd be great for headphones and stuff like that, wouldn't they? All your cabley bits that go with your phone.
Exactly that. So these were out of my scraps.
Yes.
And I've done lots of different versions to cut, and this is the one I like best.
Yeah.
The technique was not... Will I do a written version? Don't know yet. Don't know.
Sometimes the words are too many, aren't they? Whereas a demonstration makes it easier.
And that's exactly it. So can you pop that up on the sewing machine, Jane? And
Yes.
I'll just get a little change of angle. Oh, look, there's my head.
My head.
Our heads. There we go.
Look.
It's sweet.
The thing about it is, you can really open it out and get stuff in if you wanted to. That would be a great gift for putting like a gift card in. Anything like that. That's beautiful.
So I've done a demo.
Cool.
It's all been videoed. It's been edited. And as soon as I write a bit of blurb, it's ready to go live on the membership pages.
Lovely.
I've got some other things. I've got to get a few more bits up there.
Yeah.
And then we're good to go. But for those of you that want to...
Didn't work.
There we go. For those of you that would like to have a go, because I know so many, and this was what prompted it. We bought in loads of zips over the weekend.
Yeah.
And on Friday deal, they went. all of them.
Yes.
So there's
There were
lots
some
of you
gorgeous colours.
getting meters of zips. So what I've also got for you, and I've only got a handful of these, Gemma is at home loading frantically as we speak. We made the call this morning that it was actually, given the state of the roads and everything, better for her to stay home and load everything like a crazy loading lady. This is that dark metallic. Do you know what? I'm going to do this, Jane, and see if I can. Which shoulder is that? Oh. There. Can you see that?
It's a bit blurry.
It's meant to autofocus.
Let's come back to me a bit, maybe.
To me, to you.
It just looks dark, doesn't it, on there? Oh, there it is.
There you go. There it is. That is the same rainbow zip that I used on this one. So, if you fancy giving that a go, it's quite sophisticated, isn't it, Jane?
Excuse me, sorry, sneezing right into my microphone. Sorry, it's Jane.
Nice. So if you fancy giving that a go, then you're going to get a metre of that zip and a gunmetal pull. And that, I've only got 3 metres of this left. That's all I've got.
Oh wow.
I know. So you've got to be quick on that.
Yep.
When Gemma has loaded them. Other things that Gemma is going to load for us. You want to chuck us that box behind you, Jane?
Yes.
Whilst I just show you the other zip, I just tried to find everything that had a rainbow in it. I've got a little bit more of this one, but not a lot. So if you would like this colour rainbow zip and a rainbow pull,
Nice.
you need to get in quick for those. Quickity quick. Oh, here comes Mabel.
Hi, Mabes.
Morning, Mabel.
You're such a small dog. It's amazing how you can open that door. Because she obviously jumps up at the handle.
I know. She gets in. She doesn't care. There's no stopping you, is there, Mabel?
Nope.
Hey? She's like, no, I want to be with my people. Right. Now, let's have a look at these. So, yesterday we went through some of the fabrics on our shelves and went, right, I think these would make brilliant beanbags.
Yes.
I'm still on the beanbag vibe.
Yeah.
So, what I asked you to do was, where possible, cut into 2.5 metre lengths anything that we had left that wasn't an entire show.
Yes.
I think because of the weight of these fabrics, so I've got a couple of these. These are those gorgeous cranes.
That's going to be lovely as one of your recliner bean bags.
Exactly that. Exactly that. So these are being
smart.
loaded through the day. This is why Gemma's at home, tippity-tapping, so we don't disturb her, Gemma. We disturb Gemma a lot, don't we?
We do. We're always going, Gemma.
I don't mean like disturb,
no,
just generally disturb.
But because she's knower of all things, she does get asked a lot of questions all the time when she's here.
So we will pop a little discount on these. But there, I mean, here we go. This is from Sevenberry, so we are talking Japanese fabrics, beautifully printed. So you've got the flowers on black, you've got the cranes on black. I just think these are going to make the most stunning beanbags. You don't have to make a beanbag, you could just make beautiful bags and things.
Well, yeah, and a 2.5 metre piece is a nice chunk of fabric to have.
Now the orbs.
Beautiful cushions.
Wouldn't that be stunning?
Yeah.
I still say that should do something with denim.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely do something with denim with that.
Yeah.
Jane, this is what started it. I'm going to be honest. It was the wave. I really want a beanbag out of the wave.
It would look gorgeous in your lounge. It would look amazing.
Oh, I might have to. Gemma, can you only load one? I think we had 2, didn't we? Just load one. I might have to make myself a little. It's such a classic piece of art, isn't it? As much as anything else.
Yes,
to
it's
have
just
it in fabric
gorgeous.
form and in this really lovely heavyweight. It's not heavyweight, is it? It's just.
No, it's like a canvas weight,
Yeah.
really. It's not cotton weight, but it's great. You know, it'd make lovely cushions, bags.
Gorgeous.
Your recliner beanbag would look stunning in that.
Yes, and yes. And you would need 2.5 metres of fabric for that, hence.
2.5 metre pieces. We've only got a couple of some of them. Some of them we've only got one.
Yeah.
And then there were the offcuts. So
What
the
was that? Yeah,
smaller
because
pieces. So
I said to Jane, can you cut them into as many 2.5 metres as we had left? because we did bags out of these, didn't we?
Yeah.
But they didn't use very much fabric of these, so we still were left with a bit. So I would rather you guys got the most of these. And in fact, we still have one of the purple bundles.
Yes, there is a
But I don't
purple
know if
bundle.
that's-
It's like 2.5 metre pieces.
Yeah. We need to get all of those up so you can see. I love these. Right, come on then, Jane. Show me
There's a
what
bit
else.
of bolt end there.
So then, after all of that, I have got a 1.25 metre piece of the wave. It's disconcerting because the label's on upside down.
I know.
I'm going to rectify that immediately, Jane, if not sooner. And then we've got, is that all we've got left of the skulls? 1.5 metres, that was it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's not a show, is it?
No.
Also, of the Libs Elliott skulls here, in the blue, I've got 0.5 metre. That's the last of that. In the orange, I've got 0.5 metre orange.
Excuse me.
These were so popular.
That watcher quilt went really well, didn't
Oh,
it?
didn't it just? 2.35 metres of the yellow. Yeah.
That
with
is
the blue.
vibrant,
It's gorgeous.
isn't it?
Yeah. Actually, those three together. I'd like those three to go together, please, somebody. Of the Sevenberry flowers in black, I've got an 80 centimetre piece. Of the orbs, I have got a 1 metre 80 piece. Oh, hang on. Robert Kaufman. 1 metre left of the flowers and foliage.
Yeah.
That's it.
In the plum, yeah.
It's done. And in the cranes, now I hope these go together as well because they're from the same collection. I've got 1 metre 30 left of the cranes.
This is just beautiful
Isn't
fabric.
it?
That lovely gold detail is stunning.
Absolutely stunning. And then we went a bit crane crazy, didn't we?
I think it all came in together, doesn't it? Sometimes
Yeah.
it works like that, I don't know.
And then 1 metre 85 of the cranes on black. It's not really black, is it? It's
No, it's more of a brown,
dark
rich
browny,
sort of
yeah.
chocolate colour.
Thing is, they don't come with names.
No.
So we did. I'm not sure we did our best job there, Jane. But no. So they will be loaded up throughout the day. Check in and have a look. I just like to have fabrics, just in cases, Jane.
Well, it's always good to have it in your
Just in
stash
cases.
because you never know when you need a bit of backing or you want to make a cushion for a friend
Or just something.
or a bag or, you know,
or just
anything
to
really.
stroke.
Yeah, just to have it in your stash, just to look at it and...
Tomorrow's make would look lovely with that as the main bit of the bag and that as the...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness. So we've got all of these, and like I say, Gemma will be... You know how she tip-tap? I don't know how she manages to work with those great long nails.
Well, they're her nails, so it's not like she's...
I know they're her nails.
You know, when you see some people with long nails that aren't theirs, they can't do anything. They can't hold things and they can't...
No.
Gemma's are her own nails and they're beautiful.
Oh, of course, that's what she does.
And
But I still don't know. I couldn't have nails at all. Oh, no. I wouldn't be able to do anything. I'd be useless. I mean, I struggle at the best times, but that'd be... Anyway, today we have got... Should we show you what we've got? Jane, tell us what we've got today.
we've got 3 colourways to make this beautiful kit. I've done the one colourway already. I think this is the... Have I called that? What have I called? Earth, because it's named after the beaded stripe that we've used.
Yes.
And then we've got Jungle, which is that colourway.
Welcome to the jungle.
We've got Fun and Games.
Yes.
And then we've got the beautiful Cobalt, which is that lovely blue with turquoises.
Should we have a look at these kits? So
They're
we're
gorgeous.
making... Jane's going to show us how to make the quilt, but it's the same to make the
Yes,
cushion,
I'm going
right?
to just show you how to make the block really, and then how it goes together. And we've put the template on for what is essentially a 6-inch block. So I've called it a 6-inch template. It's not
Right.
6 inches, but I think it makes it clearer just by calling it 6-inch template. And then we've got the 10-inch template, which makes a 10-inch block, which I
Or-
use for the cushion.
Just a bigger quilt.
Or you can make a bigger quilt, yeah.
Did you have much fabric left over?
I had quite a bit of the beaded stripe, and I'll explain why, because we put 1 metre of that in the kit. But because I wanted to have the stripe going that way, that's why you've got that extra. So you will have enough to make it bigger
Okay, perfect.
and more blocks and things. So there is enough to make more blocks.
Perfect. And the nice thing about this block is that it changes depending on how you put it together.
Yes,
Have we got enough to show how?
yes.
Of course we have.
Yes, we
It's
have.
like you're a pro. Just see my hair. I did brush it, but just shoved it up and forgot to do anything with it after that. The joy of the school run. Let's have a look at these, shall we?
So the jungle, let's go with earth because that's the one that the quilt's made from. We've got the beaded stripe in jungle. And we started with the beaded stripe, didn't we,
Yes.
when we were looking at the colours?
That was our starting point.
Yeah,
quite right.
because you always have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And usually, well, I know I do, I start with a patterned fabric that I like the colours in it.
Yes.
And then sometimes that fabric doesn't even end up in the quilt, but it gives me my colour palette.
Perfect.
And I match my colours to that.
So for me, it was, right, we've got this one. What's the grandiose? Because I knew when I'd bought these that I had a grandiose that corresponded.
Yeah.
So that was where I went next when we were.
So
playing
this
with
is the
fabrics.
grandiose ochre.
All
Ochre.
Yeah. How beautiful is that?
That is just stunning. It's a beautiful fabric. It's just gorgeous colours. Then we found the bumbleberries, which brings, although the green is not the green,
Yeah.
we put our khaki with it, didn't we?
Which was the green.
Which was the green, but I felt it just flattened it.
You didn't like it.
I didn't like it. So we found the bumbleberries, which sort of, to me, lifts it because it's got the hint of the green in it. And then we put this beautiful linear, which is like a fuchsia pink. And if I put that in there, look how that just pulls all of those colours together. And because I like a stripy binding, this is why you've got a metre of the beaded fabric.
It's not that we indulge Jane, but we indulge Jane.
Yeah, you do.
completely
You
on
do.
this.
I get completely spoilt. And this is our vanilla plain because it's more of it's a warmer tone. It's got more of a yellowy tone to it, which I felt led itself nicely with the yellows and golds that are in these fabrics.
Do you know what I like about us, Jane, is that we spent as much time picking this innocuous plain fabric
Yes, the background.
as we did everything else.
Yeah.
It was
Because
really
it's just as
important to us,
important.
yeah.
Well, it is to me. It's got to blend in and make the other fabrics sing.
Yes.
Because although it's the background, it's still got to work. So you have a metre of your background, a metre of your beaded stripe, half a metre of the other three.
Yes.
And as I say, this quilt here is the one that's behind us is 30 by 35, I think. Yeah, 30 by 36. But you would be able to make it slightly bigger.
Perfect.
Or you could make the bigger block and it would come out bigger
That's just
anyway.
a lovely lap quilt size, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's nice to have on the back of your sofa just to put around over your knee in these chilly evenings. So that's the jungle colourway. Then we went with
That was the earth.
earth.
This is jungle.
This is it. Sorry. Get me earth and my jungle's muddled up. The jungle is slightly brighter and slightly different with the beaded stripe. And the grandiose is very rich. Look at the tones in that. That's gorgeous. Now, we couldn't find the best pink that we could find was our plain, which is the azalea.
Yeah, we tried to find a mix, but it wasn't working.
It wasn't working. None of the ones that we
actually,
had.
I felt there was enough going on. That was okay.
Because
That
this
worked
is
for me.
such a rich, lovely pattern. And then this green, which again just pulls the three.
You've got all these different greens through
Yeah.
there and in the grandiose. I'm just going to for those of
Open
you
that
that
out.
haven't seen this one.
This one is just, I don't know, it's really
So rich.
sumptuous. Those purples in there, it's got a depth to it. I love it.
It's hot.
gorgeous. Yeah.
Really hot.
Yeah.
So we have got under here. Go.
And then I put our plain nude with there because that's got a caramelly tone to it, which I felt worked with this lovely caramel colour on the background of the grandiose.
Which you can see works a treat.
Yeah.
It's not stark, is it, like
No.
a white would have been?
No, I think a white would have been too much and would have distracted from the pattern.
Yes.
Sometimes I like a white. I do like white background.
sure.
I love it,
It's got a
particularly
charming
against
place.
like the blues and the greens and stuff like that. I love it. But sometimes you just need to have a softer colour for your background that's not as stark. And the nude works beautifully for this.
We don't often get to go nude.
No.
We don't. So that's all good.
Yeah.
I'm just going to have a little look at who's with us whilst... oh, Elizabeth said that she struggled winding a perm without thumbnails. Hairdressing with short nails, I may as well take 2 weeks off.
Yes, I can imagine nails come in handy when you're hairdressing.
Yeah.
So we've got the earth, the jungle, and then we've got cobalt. And I'm not going to lie,
Is this your favourite thing?
we do love a blue and teal and turquoisey tonal fabric, and that is just gorgeous.
This was yours and my favourite.
Yeah,
Gemma
'cause
liked
we-
the other two because she loves greens.
Yeah, well, we're more blues, sea colours, aren't we, you and
Yeah.
I?
Yeah.
And Gemma is an earthy tone and she loves her greens. We've got a beautiful bumbleberry with this, and this is Celtic lilac bumbleberry.
Nice.
And then the grandiose. I mean, the grandiose is lovely.
It is
Gemma
lovely.
loves this one as well. This is one of our favourite colourways.
Out of these, after these kits have been put together, we've got half-metre heavens of these. So,
Yeah.
and then that's it done.
Yeah,
I can't believe how fast this has flown out.
the vintage has been really popular.
Yeah.
It's just a beautiful colourway, lovely tonal colours. That's the grandiose. This, on my screen that I can see, that looks quite dull, but actually it's very vibrant, that green. It's gorgeous. And then
wait, now Kirsty's joined a bit late. She's watching a presentation about sustainability.
nice.
There you go. Someone's got to do it.
And then we've got some spot on, which
I
just
love
worked
this. Yes.
really well because it's got this lovely turquoisey teal with the blue, which matches the blues in here. So it's got a little different vibe to it. And again, although I just said I like white with blues, I went just a little shade subtler and I've gone with ivory.
It's lovely, isn't it?
Because
white,
it's
again, white was
just too
bright.
heavy.
Yeah.
It just takes it away from the fan.
Oh.
So those are our 3 colourways for today.
Now, Claire almost missed us, but she's here
Yeah.
now. She's been busy buying wool.
Oh,
She doesn't need all the wool, but she's now got a lot of wool. Lo's here, but not here. Morning, Lo. Karen says, how much filling for the adult bean bag? If you get a 3-metre bag, 3 cubic foot,
yeah.
and I did put the link on there for the ones that we use, the eco beans.
Yes, I saw that on the Facebook post.
Yeah, then just click on that link and it'll take you to them. Yeah, 3 cubic feet will be more than enough.
Yeah.
But it's amazing what you find to then do with the rest.
Make
Morning,
all
Grace.
sorts of lovely things.
Lots of lovely things. Elizabeth said that linen would look lovely as a jacket.
Yes, it would.
Yeah.
Yes, it would make nice jackets, wouldn't it?
Gemma's been up all night getting these sorted for us. Thank you, Gemma. Which are the
It's
instructions.
amazing. You've got your instructions there, and then on the back of the instructions, it's our usual step by step, nice photographs. Well, the best I can do in my little
They are
camera.
nice
They're good.
photographs.
They've come
They're
out well.
great.
I'm really happy, and Gemma has a little twiddle with them as well and makes them better.
And then your templates on the back.
Templates are on the back.
Are you going to recommend template plastic, Jane?
I certainly am, because you're going to have to do quite a lot of fans, and if you did this, if you just cut your template out, well, one, you'd lose your instruction on the back about your binding and putting your quilt together, but over time that's going to get smaller on paper. As
Yeah.
you draw around it,
Yeah.
it'll get smaller, it'll distort and all sorts of things like that.
We do not want that.
Whereas using your template plastic, have you still got yours in here? 'Cause
Yeah.
you had, no, that's the colour wheel.
I did have.
There's
there.
a piece there. Your template plastic is lovely. It's got a smooth side and a slightly
Slightly
rough. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's slightly rough and it's more opaque.
Yeah.
That is the side that goes against your fabric, and it just prevents it slipping. It's not going to stop it slipping, but it gives it a better grip.
Yeah.
And it's just really a case of placing your template plastic over the top of the paper template and drawing around it. I've given you the seam allowance on the template so that with the template plastic you can copy that seam allowance on, and then if you did want to fussy cut your fans, because you can see through the template plastic, you can position your template on your fabric to get the best. You know, you might want to highlight a certain flower, or you might want all your stripes to be the same order, in which case you can see through your template plastic, so you know exactly where you're tracing that through. Use a nice sharp pencil, and I would recommend that you actually trace through on the opaque side, again, because it just gives a little bit more definition and it doesn't smudge. Sometimes it can smudge on the smooth side.
Yeah, or yeah.
And make a note on your template what it is, because it's amazing how often, if you don't write on, you'll have a bag full of templates and you'll be like, what was this for? What did I use that for? Can't remember. So if you put, it's a 6-inch fan. Now, obviously, it's not 6 inches, this template. This is for the 6-inch block. But I thought it was easier to say that's for 6 inches and that's for 10. They're not that measurement.
Yeah, I mean, you could just write 6-inch finished block template,
Yeah,
or something if you
something
want to be
like
really
that.
specific.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just wanted to clarify that just in case people got their pattern and went, there's something wrong with my template, it's not 6 inches. So that's what you get with your pattern. There's a picture of the cushion in there as well, so you can see, and the 3 colourways.
Beautiful, Jane.
So it's a beautiful pattern. Thank you, Gemma, for doing that for me. Right, so you'll have traced around your template, you've cut it carefully out. When you're drawing round templates, you do have to be careful because it's very easy to add millimetres, not even millimetres really.
But it all adds up, doesn't it?
Yeah, and a little bit extra over each one is just going to increase the size of your fan and it won't quite go together. It's not the end of the world, and I'll explain in a minute how that can be rectified. But when you're drawing around a template, angle your pencil, pen, whatever you're using, angle it so that the nib is against the edge of the plastic. I don't know if you can see, I've got my pencil to like a 45-ish degree angle. If I put it like that, I've got the width of the nib around the template. So it's going to be bigger, only by threads, but
it adds up,
over threads each time makes it bigger. So just angle your pen, pencil, whatever. If you're using a pencil, make sure it's nice and sharp. I'm using my friction pen. You can use any marker you want really because it's going to be on the back. And as I say, because we've used template plastic, we can, if we wish to, we could use that to sort of fussy cut our fabric so that we can get the best of the design if we wished. And you draw around your template like so. Now, I wouldn't recommend using your ruler to cut around your template, because you may think that you're right on the edge of it, but I can guarantee you that you'll probably start to take a slither off each time. So draw around your template and then use your ruler.
Oh, so don't use your template as the ruler?
No.
What do you mean? Got it.
Don't, because again, your rotary cutter blade's really sharp and you won't notice, you might nick into it, you might just take a slither off each time, and before you know it, again, you've distorted the size of your template. So once you've got your markings done, you can then use your rotary cutter by lining your ruler up with that marked line. You can go up that way and you can come up this side, get your wedge shape, and you can see that I've taken the point of that, I've taken it in slightly, I've taken it in by 1/4 inch, and again I'll show you why I've done that when we come to join the blades together. So I've done my straight edges, and then I'll take my scissors to just cut around that curve at the top. And again, just trying to make sure that I'm exactly on the line when I'm cutting it, because again, if we cut outside of the line, we're going to make the blade bigger each time. And again, you'll get frustrated because they won't all line up and all of that. So once you've got all of your blades cut out, you need to have 4 of each colour for each block. The quilt behind me was 30 of each blade, so there's quite a lot of cutting in it. But what you can do, of course, is you can fold your fabric together.
Oh, and multiple
And do it in 2s. So you draw around that side. Just be careful, once you've drawn around, you don't lift your fabric. Leave it flat on your cutting mat. So do all your drawing on your cutting mat and then cut it. I wouldn't if I was doing it and I didn't do it, I wouldn't draw around the one fan. I'm just going to do around the one side there. I wouldn't do that and then line that side up with that edge there to get one drawn line. Again, you're setting yourself up for just distorting your shape. So I just leave a little gap between and draw around each one individually. It's just little things that, you know, help you get the best of your pattern, really, and get the best of your fabrics. So you'll have 4 blades, and you're now going to arrange those in the colourway that you want. I chose to have what I consider to be a plain. I know they're not plains, in between each fan, but you can change them around. You could do them that way round. Because we've chosen the fabrics that all blend nicely.
It wasn't a chore, was it, Jane? Let's be honest. We had
Such hard work. You know, you can mix it round and you can make it your own. But I would suggest for the pattern behind me that you keep them all in the same order. Once you've made your decision, and then you'll label them. This is fabric A, B, C and D in the pattern. Okay. And we make 2 different types of fan. So the first one, which is fan A, we've got fabric A and fabric B, and we're going to put those together, but we want fabric A on the left-hand side. And I was always taught, if you want something to be on the left-hand side when you're piecing, put it underneath.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's a great tip.
Because you tend to sew down the right-hand side, because that's the way your machine's figurated for right-handed sewing.
Yes.
Because you've got your majority of your space on your bed there, which is for your fabrics, and you sew this side.
Got it, yeah.
1/4 inch seam is used throughout. Now you can see, when I come down here, when I come to the end, because I've taken that, my seam comes to that point there. Not a very good angle, hold on, let me show you properly. So that's why I've tapered that. That taper is 1/4 inch, but it just takes some of the bulk out and is not so wasteful of your fabric. You can see
it's
that.
like you've taken out the dog ears.
Yeah.
And also, I think for me, it means that I've got somewhere to aim to as well. So
Yes,
you know
it gives you a visual guide.
On or off.
Yeah.
So Claire said that she once attempted a mariner's compass and thought that she'd cut it all properly, but was missing a good 20-degree angle where she put the pieces together.
It's amazing. Just that little, each time, just that little bit extra can really distort your pattern, particularly if you've got lots of pieces within your design.
But what I like about this is that you're only doing 4.
Yes.
So
It comes together quickly.
You're going to be all right either way.
Yeah. And, you know, everybody's 1/4 inch is slightly different, and even when you're doing it on your own machine, you'll find sometimes just the angle that you're sitting at can make 1/4 inch wider than the other. It's so easy to do.
Isn't it?
So I've got, this is A sewn to B and C sewn to D.
Okay.
And then we're going to sew those together to make
So you
the
don't
pair.
just join a third and then the fourth on. You do
No, I do them in pairs.
Two twos. Pairs, is there? Other?
Yeah, and then pairs into 4s.
Not
Now,
in 2 twos. That would
because I have sewn, pressed my seam to the right on both pairs, when I place those together, the seams will nestle together at the base. Well, they'll nestle together all the way down the side. But just lining that up, it just helps you, again, when you're sewing, then you know that the edges are going to come together. You can pin this, of course, if it helps you.
Now, the foot you took off my machine this morning...
Yes, was your 1/4 inch foot,
was
wasn't
my
it?
1/4 inch foot, and I'm kind of glad that you did. I have a love-hate relationship with guided feet.
Yes.
Because whilst it means that you will be consistent throughout,
Yeah.
and I use it when I'm bag making with Styleville,
Yes.
I find it really useful then.
Yeah.
But I also know that my 1/4 inch guided foot is a really generous 1/4 inch.
Yeah.
So as long as I use that throughout the make,
Yes, you'll be fine.
then that's one thing.
You do have to be careful with a guided foot as well, because over time, again, the fabric, the metal can move.
Yeah, which it has, because I use it for bag making,
Yeah.
not just quilting.
Yeah.
And I think in hindsight, I should have one for quilting and one for bag making.
Yeah, that's a good idea if you can do that.
But it does, for bag making, I find it absolutely invaluable. I really, really love it. But for piecing like this, I probably wouldn't, just to make sure I have a true 1/4 of an inch.
Yeah.
But
And if
we
I
are
can-
bag making tomorrow with some brand new Anna Maria Horner fabric.
This is just gorgeous. I have pressed, she says.
hang
No,
on.
I haven't. I'm supposed to have pressed all the seams going the same way,
Have you, Jane?
and I didn't.
About to.
I'm going to now,
There we go.
just because it lies flatter, I feel. And if I can go close up onto the,
Push can.
you can see, because we've lined up, we've got nice meeting points here, and this end, it should be a straight line. It probably won't be by the time you've got everything together, but if you aim for having these two matched up, that's going to disappear into your seam allowance anyway, so don't worry about it being a bit uneven. It's not the end of the world. It can all be fudged, as the technical term is.
I do love a bit of fudge.
We do love a bit of fudge.
But yeah.
So for the next one, which will be Fan B, we're going to sew A to B again,
Yeah.
but this time we want it to go that way. So we want it to go from right to left rather from left to right. So again, we're sewing them together, but because I want to have this on my fabric B on the left-hand side of the pair, I'm going to place my fabric A on the top.
That's a really clever way to remember it.
It's something, that you get taught and you're like, okay, and then suddenly you're like, oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense now.
Sometimes you have to do something to realise why it's done that way. And we'll do the same with C and D on that side.
Sorry, my computer system just crashed. I couldn't change the screen for
Oh
you.
dear, not to worry.
It's all right. We're back. We're
We're
back.
back. We're back. So, and again, we're going to make sure, it's always worth just laying it out on your mat before you sew it together, because it would be very easy to do that, because we've always said, haven't we, that we're sewing a plain to a pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Quite easy to pick them up and put that together.
Yeah.
But actually we just want to make sure that we've got the order the same. So just make sure and just place those together. And as I said, we're pressing it so that the seams will nestle here, and they should all line up on the edge. And I was in my, when I was doing mine, I was thinking, right, I'm going to press the seams towards the plain fabric each time. It just gives you a consistency, really. It's just
so you did?
Yeah, just to make, it helps you to work out where you're going to be going each time.
We've got some YouTubers watching this morning, Jane.
Lovely.
Tricia says, morning all. Snowed through the night where I live in Liverpool, and it's freezing.
Yeah.
I think today calls for comfies and warm throws.
Absolutely.
I got out of my Oodie, didn't I, about 5 minutes before the show. Emily was horrified because I also did the school run, and she said, Mummy, you're in your pyjamas on the school run. I'm like, technically not. It might look like it, but technically not. Because the next thing will be, and why can't I wear my uniform pyjamas to school?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. Chris says, morning, Jane.
Morning, Chris.
Natasha. Morning, all.
Oh, lovely.
Sounds
Morning,
like
Chris.
a primary assembly. Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
But we're all here. And Gloucester Cromar says, a chilly good morning. Annie H. This morning, ladies, from a very snowy Yorkshire. Grandchildren hoping the school will be closed as we have a covering. Yeah. Mine looked disappointed.
We've just got literally dusting,
Yeah.
but it was snowing as I left, and I was like,
Just looks like God's got a bit of dandruff.
Well, I just like to think of him icing dusting it with a bit of icing sugar.
Yeah.
That's a bit
Because
prettier
if
than
you'd
dandruff.
made the whole world, you'd make yourself, wouldn't you? So that
Yes.
you didn't have dandruff. And Cynthia says, greetings from a very crisp southwest Ohio. How would you ever be able to pick just one bundle from today's make beautiful
It
fabric?
would be very hard. And
Thank you, Cynthia.
I think particularly jungle and earth, you know, they
Jane,
blend quite nicely together.
could you make a big whopper out of the two
You could.
and alternate?
You could.
Oh, come on, they're lovely.
That'd look gorgeous, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
You could make your fans and you could just place them. You could do it so that one stripe was one colour and the other stripe was another, or you could mix it together. It would work either way. Lovely.
Oh, and they are a really great price as well.
Yeah.
So, what do we do next, Jane?
We've got our two fans. We've got fan A and fan B.
Mm-hmm.
We're now going to take them to the machine and we're going to sew around the curve 1/4 inch away from the top.
Okay.
Now, you don't have to do this, but I found, and I'm going to explain why in a moment, I found this was a good way of getting a consistent seam. And I'm going to explain, because normally this fan block is made with curved piecing.
Right.
And curved piecing is lovely and everything all fits together and it's all very nice, but it's quite time consuming.
Right.
You know, cutting out your shape and making sure that's the right size and the curves right and everything else. And I thought there's got to be a quicker way of doing this. So we take this to the iron now we've done the curve. It's a nice picture of the sewing machine.
No, I know.
It'll
It's
do
not,
fast
it's just,
for you.
There we go.
So
Speedy Jane.
we're using that sewn seam line now as our guide for pressing
Oh, that's clever.
that edge towards the wrong side of the fabric.
I'll give you that.
And if you can do it just so that the sewn edge is just under the crease, all the better. But don't worry too much about it, because if you use a neutrally colour, it's not going to be that visible. Or even better if you use a thread that goes with your fabrics, that's not going to show at all. So it just helps you to get a consistent and keep the curve shape, because sometimes when you're pressing 1/4 inch without a guide, I mean, you could draw this on if you felt so inclined, but I think by sewing it, it also sort of perforates the fabric in a way, doesn't it, with the needle, which helps the fabric turn over and give you that seam allowance. So I've just pressed that over onto the wrong side. It gives me a 1/4 inch seam and gives me a lovely, smooth curve.
Nice. Doesn't it just?
And I think that takes some of the worry about curves out.
It's funny
So-
to say what we worry about, but we do worry
Yeah,
about curves.
we get a little bit
Yeah.
anxious about
Yeah.
curves, and curved piecing's easy, and once you get used to the placement of the fabric and joining it together, it's a breeze, but there is a lot of cutting out with curved piecing. So this is sort of a slightly quicker way, and you may feel that it's wasteful of fabric, but I like the fact that you've got a bit of a foundation now as well, because what we're going to do is we've cut the squares. Now, as I said, this was a 6-inch block, so these squares are cut at 6.5. I'm going to take the block, and this is the background fabric, and I'm just going to fold it in half across the diagonal corner to corner and just finger press it so I get a crease across that diagonal. And I'm going to place this is my A fan, and I've got this centre seam here. I'm going to line that up with that crease, and I'm going to bring it down. Ideally, you want it so that the fans line up with the edge of the square. They may not, they may overhang a little bit. Don't worry about that. As long as it's lined up in the middle, you can trim it down. So just making sure that it comes, you'll get that little corner where we had that little piece there. You'll get that corner missing, but as long as it's within the 1/4 inch, it'll be fine. So line your pin up with the crease there and pin it in the middle, and then pin it against the edge of your square either side. And don't worry if it's too big.
Okay.
It's possibly, you know, your seam allowance. It might have stretched when you're pressing it because it's all on a bias. We can trim it down, it's fine. And then we're going to sew this curve down as close to the edge as you're comfortable doing.
Okay.
I've used a straight stitch. You could make you could do a blanket stitch, a zigzag, a satin stitch. If you did used a variegated thread, it'd look really pretty. You know, you could make it part of the pattern, is what I'm trying to say. You know, the stitch around the edge. Some machines have got sort of like different embroidery patterns that would make a nice chain. So on my machine, I've got a nice daisy, and that would have looked nice on the edge.
Ooh, yes.
You know, like a little daisy chain. So as close to the edge as you feel comfortable, and that attaches your fan to your block.
Yeah.
And what you can do then is you can turn it over and you can just trim those excess bits off, just to straighten it up. Some of them, sometimes, I mean, I made 30 of these. I think I had to trim about half of them. The other half were fine and lined up perfectly. So I don't know what was going on there, because I chose the same template, the same sewing machine and all of that. But that's, you know, it happens. And the thing is, you can see from my quilt, it all looks fine. So I wasn't too worried about it. And we did the same with block B, just lining it up in that corner and lining up that middle seam with that crease across the diagonal.
Nice.
I'm just going to pin that on, and you can see that's just moved slightly, and you can see on this one, you see, it fits. So it's it's a mystery that happens with quilting. Sometimes it works and sometimes it's a bit extra.
Oh, it's all good.
It's all good, because at the end of the day, the finished product looks lovely. So, you know, I think sometimes we get a little bit hung up with the piecing process and get a bit worried. Obviously, the more time you take and the better your piecing is, the better your quilt will come together.
But don't
put
there's only one way to get better.
Yes, and don't get too worried about it, because things can be hidden in seams. And as I always say, we're not making this, well, you might want to, but we're not making this for competitions, so, you know, nobody's going to be judging it.
No, we do not like judging us.
No, we don't want
No.
any
Oh,
judging.
Rona's joined us. Good morning, Rona.
Hi, Rona.
Oh, who were we telling the other day about Rona's pancake?
Was it the courier people that we were trying to...
I can't remember who it was. We had, I'm sure Rona won't mind us relaying the story. Lovely Rona lives up in Scotland, and she was very upset when, and rightly so, when some of her fabrics didn't arrive. Now, we tracked it. Very early on, we learned that we needed to track fabrics.
Yes.
After we had an entire bag stolen. Do you remember? And
Yes. Oh, that was heartbreaking.
All of that. And we were very, very new. And, you know, we were lucky. Any other business, it could have kind of folded. But we managed. Anyway, so we track Rona's parcel. And it eventually gets delivered. And we thought, this is fabulous. But, of course, it's not fabulous because it's been opened at some point.
Yes.
And so we get quite a distressed letter from Rona asking why we thought putting in some pants, men's pants, was a good idea in her order. She had not ordered men's pants. We're like, we don't sell
men's pants.
We certainly have not
included them in your order.
No,
it's not what we do as a free gift.
Otherwise, This would have been called OnlyFans.
Yes.
It's not us. No. So, yeah, we had a right old mission, didn't we, to find out A, where her fabrics had gone, and B, why she had been sent somebody's pants.
Yeah.
We didn't know. It was a very strange situation. To this day, we still don't know.
No, what happened there?
I'm going to write a book on things that
Happen
when you post them.
When your parcels left your premises, because we've had all sorts of strange things happen, haven't we? Things disappear.
Someone nick one out of a courier's van, didn't we, over Christmas? Which was awful.
Yes.
And they would have probably been really miffed, thinking they were getting some sort of electronic device to open up.
Beautiful box that looked like it might have a PlayStation in it, to find it was full of fabric and lots of glittery fun.
Kind of serves them right, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. However,
they may be watching as we speak.
Anyway, we digress. Sorry.
Yes.
But we were talking about you the other day, Rona. Giggling.
So what you can do, if you want to, you can do a tacking stitch down the edge, because obviously this is not attached to that bit of fabric there.
Oh, it's flappy.
Yeah. So if you want to, you can do a tacking to hold that down. Just lengthen your stitch and just within your seam allowance, just sew edge to edge.
Okay.
Just holds it down. So we've got block A and we've got block B. So what we're going to do, and you're going to make 15 A's and 15 B's. And then we're putting them together in pairs. And they go so that the one curve goes... It's very difficult because this curve goes from left to right and this curve goes from left to right. But one is up and one is down.
Yeah.
This is when it's easier to demonstrate something than it is to write a pattern, because you can't write that, because they both go from left to... The curve goes from left to right. But it's facing, and it's making sure that fabric D and fabric A are against each other.
Now, if you wanted to do different patterns,
yes,
what options do we have?
We can put two together. Now, if you wanted to put two together to make a curve like that, you might want to just do all of those as fabric A blocks, because then you get you don't get that great wodge of the same fabric in the middle.
Oh, well, that's rather fabulous.
And then you can also make it into a circle. Obviously, I can't do that because I get the same. You'd have to make. You would just make the same block, consistent block. So that, and you can also make it into a curve like that. So when you put your rows together, you get like a wiggle, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Let me see, because I've got some extra blocks under here. These are different. These are different too. These have already been put into pairs, but you can see if you had that going the same way.
Oh, that's rather lovely. It's starting to look like the Very Hungry Cat a bit.
Yeah.
I rather love that.
So that's a different way of putting your stripe. So you can make complete circles, like so, and put those together in blocks of 4,
Nice.
in rows. You can alternate your rows so they look like so. And then your next block would go like so, like that.
And then you see what I would do is on the top I'd have it alternating so that you then had the two touching.
Yes. Yeah.
And then you'd get a secondary sort of star almost.
Yeah, you would.
Plain, wouldn't
Yeah,
you?
you would.
Rather gorgeous.
Which is rather lovely.
Oh, there's lots of ways to play with these, Jane.
Yeah, you can have really good fun with this particular block. It's got lots of configurations. You know, we can have the stripe going horizontally, or you could have the stripe, this wavy stripe, going vertically. You could put all of your blocks together just like that, because even that, I think, gives a nice effect.
Yeah, and then have them going the opposite way underneath.
Or just keep it going that way. You know, it's quite pretty.
Beautiful.
Keeping it that way. But for the one I've done behind us, you put your A and B block together in pairs. So we've got block A there, and then we've twisted block B round. So block B is here. So we've rotated that 180 degrees. So it's against, fabric A is against fabric C, and they curve in opposite directions. So that's the effect you get. And then we did the same, but this time we put block B first, and then we put block A and twisted that around. So you get B and A together. Perfect. And then you make 3 different types of rows. So row 1 is A and B, B and C, B and A, sorry, B and C, B and A, and then you put a block A on the left-hand side with fabric A at the top. And you'll actually make 3 of those because row 1, this is row 1, the first 2 rows is row 1 but different orientation. So this is this is row 1 in effect, like so. And if I just pin this to here, pretend we've sewn it on. When I take that and rotate it and join it together, that becomes... So row 1, the first 2 rows is all of row 1, but the second row is rotated. Yeah. And then you've got row 2, which is, it starts with B, BA, and then AB, and then you put a B block, and again you rotate. Hold on.
Is that bottom right one going the right way?
Yeah, so this will be the second row, and the B block will go, yeah, you put BA, AB, and then you've got a B block that you put that way. So that's row 2.
That top right one doesn't look right. It looks like it needs to flip down the other way.
Yeah, no, that's right. Because it produces this curve going through. No, this one's the wrong way around, isn't it?
No,
it's that one
that's that one just
wrong.
needs...
Yeah, it's that way. No, it's not. It's that way.
That way, yeah, that's
that way. So that goes like that.
That's the one.
So row 2, with your B block on the left-hand side, you make 2 of those, and that becomes the middle 2 rows. So you make 2 of row 2. Sounds complicated, but it's all explained in the pattern. And
with
then
pictures,
yes,
which we like.
Yeah.
We like pictures.
And then the last 2 rows is a row 2, is a row 1, sorry, with the A block at the top. Get this right way around. And then the final bit is like is a got this the wrong way around. Yeah, you put that one there, and then you'd have, get these right, you'd have that
it's
one.
It's so tricky to do, isn't it?
It is when you're trying to work it out with
yeah.
something else. Let's put that one there, that's it. And then this one will go there, but it's an A block, because you've got one A block left over, I think, that goes in that corner.
Anthony's Krangle says very clever.
So
very clever.
You've got row 1 that makes the first 2 rows, row 2 that makes the second 2 rows, and then row 1, and then it's a different row, so row 3.
Yeah.
It's explained in the pattern a lot easier than I've just explained it. And it makes that
genius.
One there.
It is still genius.
Yeah.
Love
so
it.
that's how the quilt goes together. For the cushion, I just I made my block again. I made it larger. It was the 10-inch, so it's a 10.5-inch square, and I added a strip of fabric either side, and I did a half square triangle just to get that little bit at the bottom there. That then made that a 12-inch block.
Oh, nice.
And then I've added a 2-inch border all the way around. I put a bit of flange in there with some of the fabric from the main bit, and then quilted it. And then I've done a bound edge.
You haven't just quilted it. Can we go close up on that quilting, please? Because you haven't just quilted it. You have echo quilted along that fact. Don't think that escapes me, Jane. I noticed your fancy quilting.
Yeah. I've just gone around the edge of it, and I've gone in between the blades on this one. I didn't go in between the blades on the quilt because I felt that they didn't need to be done, but I could have done. And then I've echoed a couple of lines around there. I could have done more if I'd had the time. But it gives a nice cushion that you can make to go with your quilt if you wanted to. And I've done an envelope back. I mean, we've got all the cushion finishing with flare. All of those instructions cover all of those techniques in this cushion. So
we were saying the other day, are there any techniques that you haven't covered?
I can't think of any other than adding I said to you, other than adding a frill, which I don't think is very fashionable these days to have a frill around your cushion. I think we're more into clean lines, aren't we now?
At the minute.
In the 80s, all my cushions had frills around them.
Did they?
Lacy ones, big deep lace, gingham, embroidery on lace. I've got my very first cushion that I made, and it's got a really deep embroidery on glazed lace frill around the edge.
That's a beautiful thing. I was waiting for it. Elizabeth got first with the flange in capitals.
Yes. Flange bingo.
And yeah, and answered this again. She said, "Yeah, I commented yesterday. It reminded me of Colin the Hungry Caterpillar. We've got some of the Hungry Caterpillar panels actually.
We have, yes.
And there's just nice napkins to sew in there, Jane.
Yeah.
And Pat's late. That's all right, Pat. You're very welcome. And Rona, after retelling her story, said it was very strange but funny. It's funny now.
It's funny now. It wasn't at the time. It wasn't. It was complete.
It was quite
nightmare
distressing for everyone.
We were like, "What? What's going on?"
That is not a thing. Not a thing.
Yeah, not fun at all.
Oh my goodness me, Jane. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Rather gorgeous. So to recap, we have got these bundles for you. Would you have enough to do a cushion as well?
Yes.
Oh, perfect.
Yes,
Okay.
because this is the thing I wanted to tell you why you've got 1 metre of the beaded stripe. This is why. You will not use all of this fabric.
Oh yeah.
But because I want the stripe goes with the width of the fabric.
Yeah.
So if I'd cut my bias along the width, I would have just had a stripe. It would have been a solid colour. It would have all been, like that along the edge.
Right.
So before I cut my wedges out of my blades is the correct term for a fan actually, my blades from my fan, I cut my strips of my binding across the length of my fabric. So I straightened it along the edge there and I cut 2.5 inch widths that way. So by cutting it like this along there, I get 2 strips. So I did that twice. I got 4 strips, which is plenty enough for that size of quilt for your binding.
Okay.
But that's why you've got 1 metre piece, so that you can do your binding the same way as mine. So I get a bit of each of the colour in my binding.
Nice. It's a decadence that we can do.
Yes, we can do that because we have the power, as they say.
Yes.
But then that means that you've got extra of this fabric and a little bit extra of your others as well.
Claire, you would like to know what is the loveliness stacked up behind you, Jane?
Loveliness here.
Shall we show? Shall we
show
do a little
it?
show and tell? So this arrived yesterday, Claire, and changed all of my plans for tomorrow's show. So what I was going to do tomorrow, which is still a surprise, will continue to be a surprise, but will now be rescheduled because this arrived. And I'm not going to lie, it's really beautiful, and it meant that I have managed to start making a bag that I've wanted to do for a very long time, but it needed big, bold, beautiful prints.
Yeah.
And because you guys bought the cave vintage so quickly, I didn't get a chance to make it out of that one, but I did do my zipper tote out of the cave, so at least I got a chance to do that. But yeah, this is I cherry-picked the Anna Maria Horner because I'm not so keen on some of the brown tones that she does, if I'm completely honest. But I did love these. Ooh, 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 yeah, 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 yeah.
Look at that.
So what
That
we're
is
going to have
gorgeous.
tomorrow is a feature bag with the fabric, the feature fabric on the main body of the bag, and then with a fancy flap.
Fancy flip.
So just, yeah, imagine that as a little fancy flap cutting through, and then we're going to do a little bit of a applique, onto the flap to make it fancy.
Look, Tasha's done the butterfly. We'll show you that fabric in a minute. That's beautiful.
That's what I was doing just before we came to air.
Housewarming, this one's called.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. So
Our
that's
Fair
wonderful.
Home is the collection. And this one's called Housewarming. Isn't that beautiful? That pink on there with that
it's
peely
just
green is just stunning. This one, oh my gosh, I just love this.
I love it. How fresh
Where
is
was this when we
spring?
made the peacock?
Well, quite.
Look at it, isn't it gorgeous? This is called Compromise Small. All right, okay. I don't know why.
I don't know, but I'm going to get such a different effect when I demo in that tomorrow.
That works like a stripe. Can you imagine
Yeah.
making borders out of this?
Yeah.
I mean,
Always. Stunning.
beautiful. And this is another case where you could buy this fabric and use the colours in it to decide your pattern for the main body of your quilt, and just use this for your borders.
Yeah.
Because you've got that.
What I don't put into bundles will be cut to order. Remember, members, if you are a premium member, then you get 10% off.
What have we put with this? Hawaiian? Oh yeah, because that pulls that lovely blue there, doesn't it?
And of course, also, if you are a member, then tomorrow I'm going to do you a couple of cake
That with the
bundles
Hawaiian.
with a little code to give members a little discount on that.
Nice. This is the one.
This
This
is
is
the
just
one,
gorgeous. Look at this. This
That
is
says,
stunning.
Must resist. Those flowers are stunning. Resistance is
Neighbourly,
futile.
this one's called.
Maybelline.
Neighbourly.
Oh, Neighbourly.
Neighbourly.
I was going to say maybe it's.
Maybe it's Maybelline. That's what I say to Mabel. I say, maybe it's Maybelline. And that looks purple on my screen, but actually that's navy that we've put that with.
That
because
navy is a
it's
really
just,
useful one because it does come up purple when required. If you put it
Yes.
next to a purple, it's obviously got those purpley tones in
It
it.
has, hasn't it?
Which
It's
is
just
why
gorgeous.
Pulled that off the shelf. Where did my butterfly go? Oh, it's up in the corner. Can you just
It's here.
Yeah.
It's here. I kept it
So
safe.
my fancy flap is going to have a bit of a butterfly going on.
Look at that. Isn't that pretty? This butterfly is beautiful on here.
It's stunning. Have you seen the bees in there? as
Yeah,
well?
it's gorgeous.
So these are what are coming up tomorrow. So I make no apologies for changing the schedule completely. Don't change. I'm only human. Aren't they gorgeous?
Beautiful. Beautiful.
So yeah, that is what we are going to be playing with tomorrow. Jane, thank you so much.
You are very welcome.
Thank you. Also today, you know what's going to be arriving, don't you?
What?
You know what we ordered yesterday?
Oh, yes. We're whispering. Why are we whispering?
We ordered some gorgeous fabric.
We did.
We weren't meant to be ordering anything this week, were we?
No.
We had everything ordered.
But
And
then the
then-
little pirates decided they were going to have their
The
fun.
little pirates, the pretty pirates. Are
Oh,
having their
it's
fun.
terrible because we're thinking of pirates and we're thinking of, you know, Johnny Depp
I mean,
and them, and
And
they're
it's
not like that. They're not
yeah.
nice pirates, are they?
no.
Well, I mean, yeah, pirates aren't nice. They steal from people. But these ones are very particularly nasty. And it's causing all sorts of mayhem with our deliveries.
I never thought these words would be coming out of our mouths, but yeah,
No.
there we go. Could we just have a little close-up of the middle fabric, please, Jane, because there is some confusion as to what it actually is on there.
It's a flower.
Let's go close to you, up. There you go.
You see, it's two flowers, or a big flower. It's like a papyrus flower, but there's lots of smaller versions.
It's like ferns leading up
Yeah.
into it. It's very beautiful.
It's very abstract, but in a rather fabulous Art
And it almost
Deco-y
looks like birds from a distance
Yeah.
as well. I love that about
sort
it.
of like sort of Art Deco-y almost, isn't it?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Well, I'm enjoying
Love
it
it.
tremendously.
It has a lot of potential. Like that.
I think so. So there we go. That's what that is. It's all right. There were questions.
Yes, because
There were
it does
questions.
look. It looks unusual, doesn't it, from a distance?
Do you know, working with this morning, it suddenly struck me, at no point do we ever tell everyone watching about the quality of the fabric that we work with, ever. And
I
yet
do.
when
I talk about it sometimes because I'll say, you know, that the fabrics, like the Macawa fabrics, they've got a denser weave, so the fabric is, it's heavier. Still quilting weight, but it's got a heaviness to it, and it
just cuts better. doesn't
yeah,
it?
because
Works
it doesn't
better.
move as much, and mode of fabric is the same. It's got less movement in it because the weave's denser.
Yeah. And it suddenly struck me
Explain
as I
properly.
was prepping shows for Create and Craft, where the presenters will always comment on the quality of the fabrics that
Yes.
we take there. And I think we take it for granted here.
Yes,
That
because
we don't-
we only buy quality fabric.
Yeah, we do. Absolutely we do.
Yes.
And it just struck me as I was working with that Anna Ray Horn fabric this morning, I was like, actually, this feels really nice to work with. Really
It does
nice.
make a difference with the finished project. The weave of your fabric, if it's a nice close weave, the fabric doesn't move, and it gives you a nice finished end result. It's cheaper fabric, a more open weave, and they move.
Yeah.
And you're just setting yourself up for failure, really, because your seams won't meet, and it'll all distort. And
Tears before bedtime.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just worth paying that little bit more. And it isn't much more, really, in the grand scheme of things. And you get such a much better finish.
And experience.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, less frustrating.
Perfect. Well, I am going to be using and playing with those tomorrow. So do stay tuned, and we might flash you some other fabrics tomorrow. Which I'm super excited for.
Yes.
So do join us tomorrow, 10 o'clock. Claire said we just know it's top quality fabrics that we're getting from you. And how lovely is that?
That's nice to know. Yeah.
That's what I want. I'm
Yeah.
very happy to be a fabric snob.
Mm.
Oh, and to update you, anybody waiting for their O'Deal, talking of fabulous fabrics,
Yes.
that is due to land here on Friday.
Oh, that's good. So
Yeah.
we'll be able to start packing and posting those on Monday.
Yeah. So there we go. Right here, everybody. Lots of love. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Lots of love.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
You still there?